different than money that I might need for savings or not savings necessarily, but like maybe for in 2 years for a
Yeah,
project or something.
sure.
Totally different. So when I think of diversity, I think of not only how it's invested, but I actually think of diversity in tax class diversity as well.
Yeah.
But when you talk about having a overall portfolio that did those kind of numbers, it's great. But when you think about this bad market or what we're looking at there, um, how quickly could that have changed? We talk about the Santa Claus bump and the January slump.
Slump. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we hadn't had the January slump.
No, the first couple days have been okay, and that's with all the world events happening right now. Everything
But
going
how
on.
different could it have been?
Oh, totally. Way different.
Right. And not just because of world events, but let's start there.
Sure.
The I don't know what you call it, the police operation in Venezuela, whatever. What do we, first it was a world war, then it was a war. It was like the
We just
22-minute
we
war.
just plucked the president
Right.
out. That's
We
right.
just it was
So-called
just
president.
yeah, and you obviously being a major in the US Army, you kind of know a little about that, but
Sure.
it was a FBI, it was a police operation really backed by the military.
Yep.
But regardless, it was great success. So proud of the American military, the men and women that served like yourself and what they were able to do. But we could have woke up to it could still be going on right this. You said, well, Mark, it is kind of going on. Not in the way I'm talking about. It could have been going on in a much different manner. And yeah, you talk about a bubble,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Well, and that kind of leads us into what we're talking about here in this first little segment, which is down markets.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes, not like last year, maybe this year, we have down markets.
Maybe this
right?
week.
Maybe this week. That's right. And so when we look at those are normal things, and we want to be able to normalize them so that we are prepared. And part of that is having a long term strategy, not just a 5-year strategy, but maybe a 20, 30-year strategy where there's going to be bumps in the road, but there's also going to be times where you win on the back end of it.
Well, this is where, when we think about this, a bad market is very uncomfortable,
Totally.
but it's not unusual. It's actually expected. And so if you're going into investing with this idea that, man, this is great, the markets are going crazy, I got to get some. So you've decided after watching your friends make a bunch of money last year in their 401 or in their Robinhood or whatever they're choosing to use, and you go, yeah, I got to have some of that. Great. You should. And you also should understand that you potentially are now buying in at what could be the top of the market. Oh, Mark's saying don't do that. That's not what I said at all. But we did hit new highs recently. So if I want to get in on this, the S&P, the Dow, whatever it is, or a stock,
Yeah.
I'm very likely buying at a high point. Now, is it the highest it's ever going to be? I wouldn't expect that,
Sure.
but I don't have a crystal ball for that.
Yeah, we don't know. Right.
So then that says, well, Mark, you're saying I should just wait. Yeah, I think procrastination works out really well when it comes to investing. Not. But you have to understand what you're doing. And
Yeah.
so if you're 35 and watching this, you're going to see so many more good markets, which is what we want. And you're going to see so many more bad markets, which you think about, well, I don't want those. Well, is that true, CJ?
Well,
Do you not want a bad market?
Well, ultimately, you want a long-term strategy, right? And you don't want a bad market, but ultimately, the market has proven to be good over time.
Right, but wouldn't a bad market be a great place?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're gonna buy low. For
So
sure, yeah.
so again, I don't want the markets to tank. But when they do, if I own quality items, well, I just lost a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But now I'm able to buy those same quality items
Mhm.
at a discount.
Oh,
They're on sale.
yeah.
Holy smokes.
Deal. We're going.
I
I
like
love a
them.
good sale.
Think about this. You liked them last week, last month, last year at $10 a piece. Today they're on sale for 5. Oh, I don't like them anymore because the market's going down. Wait a second. If they were a value or you thought they were good to invest in at $10, why wouldn't I try to buy even more at $5?
Yeah, sure. If you can. But and I think part of this is like you don't know, right? And so that's why it's important to start today.
No doubt.
If you don't start today, you're going to lose out on the opportunity of the unknown. And it might be, let's call it the worst time to join the market. It's super high right now. But that doesn't mean that over 40 years, that's going to be the high,
Well,
right?
that's exactly right. And so that's where youth comes in. And that's where one of the greatest parts about investing is, which is this idea of dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they understand it, they think they know, but here's the reality of it. Let's go to something that's one of the most controversial and absolutely volatile things you could quote invest in today. What would that be?
Probably a crypto's pretty
Crypto.
volatile. Yeah.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. I get calls all the time from people that don't even understand Bitcoin or crypto,
Sure.
but they only call when it's in the headlines
Yeah.
for how much it's up.
Yeah.
Hey man, this crypto thing's going unbelievable. It's like they're up to 100,000 a coin. Where did I get one of them coins at? You think I should I buy two? I've got the money, Mark. Should I get 200,000? And where do I store them? Do I put them in my safe? What do they look like? I've never actually seen one of those Bitcoins. Do they mail them to you? Is it safe to put them in UPS or FedEx? I mean, literally, that sounds so funny.
Yeah.
But that's really the knowledge base for something like
Sure.
this.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
and there's lots of options. You got cold storage, you
Right.
got online
But they don't
storage,
understand
and
any of that.
all that stuff is
Right. They don't even,
more-
not even at that
Yeah.
level yet. But
Sure.
these are smart men and women that make these calls.
Sure.
Okay. Then the crypto goes from the 100 to the 70, 60, whatever. Dead silence. Oh, they're calling about other stuff, but they're certainly not calling about Bitcoin. But as soon as it goes back up, what are they going to do? Call.
They're gonna call and say, "Hey, should I get this?"
Should I get it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they call when it's, hey, Mark, this Bitcoin thing used to be 100,000. I understand I can buy one of them coins now for 60,000. Should I buy a couple? 4?
Yeah.
That call doesn't happen.
Yep. And a lot of times,
That's the emotional part, though, I
Exactly.
think,
Yeah.
because you have to become what's called a quintarian, a quantarian. How do you pronounce
I
that?
have no idea what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's the quantarian. It's where you're doing the opposite.
Oh, okay. Contrarian.
Contrarian. That's
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
trying to say, and I certainly can't spell. I'm
No,
a
I
math
can barely
nerd.
say it too. I
Yeah,
get
but
it.
I'm a math nerd. But the reality is, I want you to think about when everybody was running toward a meme stock, GameStop.
Well, I mean, what was it? CryptoPunks, which
Yeah.
was the images that you
Yes.
buy, the digital assets.
Yes.
And
yes.
that market has collapsed.
There is
doesn't
no
exi-
market.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. And
How many people invested and were going to make their millions in that?
there was a lot.
A lot of
Yeah,
people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Think about GameStop. When I think about GameStop, yes, there are some people that quickly made a little money because everybody talked about it. And it's a great lesson for all of us to always remember supply, demand. And so we made this surge that GameStop was way undervalued and it was going to go bankrupt and all this. And so people went out and through digital world, social media, whatever it was,
Yep.
they drove that stock to highs that nobody could expect. Agreed?
Mhm.
Then they had to shut off the trading of it and they had to protect this and people had shorted it and all the nastiness of Wall Street comes out. And there was a lot of bad stuff in there. Let's be very clear.
Sure. Yeah. They were shorting the crap out of it. It was
Um,
crazy.
It was unbelievable. But here's the deal. I wasn't involved in any of that. Now, would I love to have a looking glass and go backwards and say, on this day, I'm going to put $500,000, $1 million into it because I know on this day, 5 days later, I'll be able to sell before everybody else does and maybe have even doubled my money.
Yeah.
Would love to be able to do that, but I can't find the crystal ball.
Yeah.
I've misplaced it. I don't know where it is.
Nobody's got the crystal ball.
But when I saw this happening, I just did a little bit of deep dive personally. I love video games. I've been a video gamer for a long time. Don't play as much as I used to,
Sure.
but I still really like it.
Yeah.
I used to take my children to GameStop to go in there and buy the CDs. I haven't done that in a long time. When a new game comes out, I go to something called Steam and I just download it
Crazy.
and pay for it,
Sure.
and it's there.
Yep.
Why do they even exist today? That was the question I asked myself.
Yeah.
What purpose do they serve?
Yeah. What does GameStop really do?
What does it?
nowadays?
What
Yeah.
purpose did it serve? So here's all the stuff going on. Everybody's buying it. They're going to make millions of dollars. I'm asking a very simple question: would Mark Henry go to GameStop, and why would I? Well, I want to buy a console. Hmm, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, Amazon or
Amazon
the
or Microsoft or
or
someplace.
Walmart,
Or
whatever. Yeah,
Best Buy, somebody that has it on
Yep.
sale that I can buy it cheaper,
Totally.
or I'm doing Amazon so it shows up at my house and I don't have to drive.
Yep.
And where are those GameStops? And I'm not being mean when I say this, but they're typically in the not bougie strip mall.
Sure.
Is that the
Yeah.
best way to say it?
Totally. Yeah.
And I don't want everybody to think, oh, Mark's bougie, but I'd just rather go to a different strip mall.
Sure.
That one doesn't have anything in it I want.
Yep.
So I'm not driving there. So all I ask myself is, do I believe they'll be here in 10 years? No. Do I believe they'll make it 5? I personally don't think they will.
Yeah.
Unless they come up with some revolutionary new business model, I don't see GameStop I don't see its relevance in the world. Thank you. Don't need to participate.
Yeah. And that's, I think, where we're going with this conversation, the fact that it was a herd mentality and it was emotional
Correct.
for everyone.
That's
Because-
where I wanted you to say
well,
it.
and I'm a gamer at heart, so
Big time.
yeah, I played Call of Duty professionally for a few years. I was not the best in the world, but I
Right.
was close to the best.
And
And
you played.
yeah, but I played.
You were there. You got to the dance.
And we've done a lot of stuff for the state of North Carolina on the esports side for running like a high school esports league.
Absolutely.
So I've been really invested in this space. And one of the things that I got a lot of phone calls was like, hey, CJ, should I buy GameStop?
Yeah.
And basically, everyone, I was like, when's the last time you went to a GameStop?
Thank you.
And it's like,
Hello?
yeah, you don't go there. It is a dying business model, and everything will be digital in nature. And
Right.
that was, I mean, that was 8-9 years ago. Maybe it was sooner than that. But like when we had that thought of like GameStop hasn't been relevant since 2005 when Xbox Live came out.
Right.
And so, but the entire world was talking about it like it was something you should go do. And I had a lot of friends that went out and bought it because of that talk alone. And that's how people make decisions about their finances.
I think that's the Bitcoin. That's the GameStop. We
Yeah.
can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
As you know, I am a huge motorcycle and car person.
Totally. I do. Know this.
Um,
This is great.
Right. I love it. I'm very passionate about it. There was a time in my life when my personal portfolio, I made really, really good money
Mhm.
on Harley Davidson.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I haven't owned Harley Davidson in a long time. Doesn't mean I don't like them. Doesn't mean I don't support the brand. Now, their woke CEO, they finally got rid of him, which is good. But Harley Davidson has to do something to revitalize themselves, or they're going to become non-existent.
Totally.
They had the best model for selling parts, accessories, and everything else. But unfortunately, the 35-year-olds aren't seeing the Harley as the look they want. And so guess what? That industry is changing, and Harley Davidson is changing. And again, you don't have to be an analyst. So when we talk about this segment, and we were going to talk about the emotional decisions people make, I personally don't think you can. They say emotions don't belong in finance. Okay. I don't disagree with that, but I'm not sure I agree with it
I think,
because
yeah.
emotions is what made me a bunch of money on Harley Davidson because I liked Harley. I was watching everybody. This is 20 years ago, 25. Everybody had to go buy a Harley. Everybody wanted one. And there was people riding. It was like the biggest thing ever. And then I looked at the Harley stores and they were having these Saturday cookouts and all this.
Yep.
And they weren't making their money selling bikes. Oh, they were selling bikes. No. The bike was irrelevant. You know what was relevant? The parts department. When you went the
maintenance side,
accessories.
yeah.
No, not maintenance, accessories.
well, I was thinking
You can't go
community
own the Harley
makes
without buying the black leather jacket, without buying the keychain, without buying this, and then your wife has to have it.
Yeah.
And of course, you got kids, they can't ride, but we got to get them dressed in the Harley gear. And they were crushing it with brand image and marketing.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I saw dollar signs. Would that be an emotional decision? Yes.
Sure. And it's
Because
something
I
you're
was
passionate.
passionate.
Yeah.
Why I love when I hear people investing in something they like.
Yeah.
Let me give you one more example. We're going to move on.
Okay.
But I remember a few years ago, my daughter, Amy, she's the teacher down in Wilmington now, but she had come home from college and it was Christmas. She's home for the Christmas break, going to App State, but now she's home. And she says, hey, Dad, do you want to go Christmas shopping with me? I'm like, yeah, that's my girl right there. She ain't asking her mama. She's asking me. I am ready to go. This is going to be great.
Yep.
So we go, and I said, where do you need to go? She said, well, I want to go to this Five Below. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go there. And so Five Below, it's got to be some clothing store where they sell really cool rough gear. And I'm kind of a manly man, so I'm going to go in there and get me a good jacket or something, get a couple Christmas gifts. And I said, where's it at? She says, there's one over in Matthews. I said, great. I said, where at? She tells me. And I said, well, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods there. And she goes, "Yeah, absolutely." I said, "Well, this is perfect. Like, man, let's go right now. Come on." So we go over there, and here's this Five Below store. I see it. I park, in the big strip mall kind of thing. And I walk in, and I'm looking for the outer gear, the what I'm expecting to see, hiking gear. Uh, yeah, it didn't look like that.
No.
And then I'm looking around, and I see this long, long, long line of people. And I'm kinda looking, and then I cut through the line. I said, Are y'all waiting for something?" She goes, "Oh, no, we're in line to check out." And, like, this is toward the back of the store. Now Amy's off doing her thing because she is that person that wants to buy things less than $5.
Sure.
I have just now figured out that I'm in a store where everything is $5 or less.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, and I'm like, "Oh, hell no. This is not Amy, this is where I went from being super dad to I gotta get out. There's no way I'm buying a bunch of junk in this place and then standing in line for 40 minutes." But I saw how popular it was,
Yep.
and I literally went and made a note, and I went back, and it became an investment that I included in my personal portfolio where I like to buy some stocks that I was passionate on, and darn if I didn't do great on that thing.
Sure. Yeah. That's such a fundamentalist approach where it's like, hey, I went to this place and I knew that they were going to be successful because I went through the experience. There's a lot of folks there. There's a lot of money being
Right.
made. And the other one I've
And
heard
young people wanted to be there.
exactly.
There was a bunch of them.
Kava is one of those too.
No question
Kava
about
is
it.
always busy.
Right.
And so and I talked to a financial advisor and they were like, I tell people to invest into it because I walked into it and I thought it was great. And I was like, that's a great example
Right.
and that's part of the herd mentality
So that's
too, right?
emotional.
Yeah.
It's emotional, but
Yeah.
I think it's emotional based on a good decision.
Yeah, sure.
Following the herd is not emotional. That's just like, "Oh, I want to be involved. This is great. Everybody's winning. Buy Bitcoin, buy that." I personally own Bitcoin, a lot of it. I understand it, kinda. I've read books about it. They're a little complicated, but I've read it, I understand it, and I believe in it as a long-term asset class
Mm.
that I have no when it goes down, up, whatever, I just dollar cost average and keep buying.
Sorry, I really want to go on this tangent. And if you hate this, I'm sorry. But Bitcoin compared to gold, when
Yeah.
you compare those things, can there be comparisons made? Are they two very different things?
I think I have gold and I love gold.
Yeah.
I don't like the way gold is marketed. Every A actor that's now a D actor, E actor is
Sure.
representing some gold company telling you the world's ending and you've got to go buy gold. And then so many people get jumped into this thing about buying gold and they're actually owning gold that they don't personally have.
Yeah.
That scares the bejesus out of me. You're letting somebody else keep your coins.
Mm,
That is just ridiculous.
yeah.
Then we have gold ETFs and stuff. I like those much better, but totally different thing.
Yeah.
You think about the world's going to end and we're going to need to have gold so we can survive. Okay, so let me use that example. I go pull one of my gold coins out and I want to trade it for 10 chickens. Um, yeah, I think I'm not sure that works. I can't eat my gold in a civilized world collapsing. But a box of 22 ammo that I could go buy for, I don't know, what's a box of 22 and 50 rounds? What is it, $6, $5?
It's pretty pricey
10,
right now. Yeah.
10 maybe? Okay. But that $10 box of ammo might be traded for 12 chickens
Sure.
versus a piece of gold that nobody can do anything with.
Yeah.
So should you own gold? Obviously gold is skyrocketed.
Yeah. Gold and silver right now are two that
Silver
everyone's
is
talking about.
unbelievable.
Yep.
I
Sure.
own both.
Yeah.
Personally.
Sure.
Uh,
Coins and
coins.
ETFs. Yeah.
Coins and ETFs and portfolios. I
Sure.
have both, and I
Yep.
have a bunch of it. Um, the gold that I own, physical gold.
Yeah.
I like the coins. They're cool to look at. I
Sure.
put them in the little plastic things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I play with them and just, don't touch them, but I like looking at them and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're kind of cool and all. The silver is ridiculous because it takes so much room
Yeah.
in your safe to hold silver.
Sure.
However, silver has crushed 84 something, I think is what I looked the other day, and I started adding up what my cost was on this silver I bought years ago.
Oh,
Holy smokes.
Slate on
I
that.
should have
Yeah.
I should have bought a house full of that crap. Now again, that's the problem. You'd have to have a house full to make a huge difference in your life. But I might even be selling silver right now if I had a house full.
Yeah.
Does that mean I think it's at the top? I have no idea where it's at.
Yeah.
But I know there's plenty of YouTubers that will tell you what you should do with your money. They don't hold a license of any kind, but they'll go on there and tell you, you got to buy more gold. You sell your car, sell your house, sell your portfolio, put it all in gold,
Mm,
physical gold, store it in your house. I
sure.
mean, there's plenty of people that might give you that advice.
Yeah.
I'm not
Eh,
taking that advice. I think I have enough. I don't know how much is enough. What is enough?
yeah.
But I've got it.
Sure.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I didn't go buy it last week.
Sure. And that's where it's like for me, this one's like a newer one that popped up because the price spiked on all of them.
Yeah.
Right. For whatever
Well, that
reason.
makes it exciting right now.
Yeah. Agreed. Um, what else do we have here, Mark?
I got all kinds of stuff.
I
Where do you want to
know.
go next?
I know you do. Time horizons, asset locations, and risk control. Let's talk about how we balance portfolios a little bit. That sounds fun, right? What do you think?
Sounds fun to me, but I don't.
Maybe
Look at that. We just lost 27 viewers.
from when we talk about the yearly conversation with your financial advisor, part of it is this rebalancing the portfolio
Well, there's the first
conversation.
thing.
Yeah.
You should be talking to your financial advisor at least 2 times a year. We do all reviews twice a year.
Hmm.
The world changes too quickly. I think, now keep in mind, we're a fee-based firm. So when people are working with us,
Hmm.
we're not recommending they buy this or sell that. Those are commission-based stockbrokers.
Hmm.
They're not bad. They exist for a reason. At some point, hopefully, you end up with enough money to where you can leave the commission-based business model and go to an actual wealth manager. A wealth manager is now going to charge you a fee. The fee is for them to do what they do. They're not going to call you next week and say, we need to sell this
And
and buy this
Yeah.
so I can get a commission.
Sure.
That's already going to be done.
Yeah.
Now, who's it being done by? Do they think they have the secret sauce and so they're running their own portfolios? Many wealth managers do that. Many. I'm not saying they're good or bad. That is not how I do it. I use the biggest in the industry to run those portfolios. I think about it all the time. If you believe your person you work with
Mhm.
is the best, you're watching, you go, I got the best. No, you don't. Yes, Mark, I've been with them 15 years and they are the best. No, they're not. And how can I so confidently say something like that?
Yeah.
Let's be clear. If they actually knew what you should put in your portfolio to make you the largest returns week over week, day by day, and they're simply one of the greatest that's ever done it, you don't have enough money for them to work with you. You say, Mark, you have no idea how much I have. I know you don't have enough. Mark, I have $10 million. I have $50 million. Not enough if they're really that good. Because if they're really that good, they're running $1 trillion hedge fund on Wall Street.
Sure.
And they're not doing it for you. That's reality. So let's get over this idea that there's some firm with a secret sauce. Listen, we run a very large firm, as you know.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, we don't have the secret sauce and we can't find the crystal ball. It's the truth. Why don't people tell it?
Yeah.
You're not going out there and finding some stockbroker that's better than the guy around the other corner. They might be better today.
Yeah.
Okay. Might be better tomorrow. But at the end of the day, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so we have to get over that. So when we think about this idea of rebalancing a portfolio, which is the question you asked,
Yep.
what is the purpose of the money in the portfolio? Well, Mark, you're just silly. Obviously, the purpose is to grow the money. Okay. Grow it how? Can you withstand a 40% drop? Because a 40% drop in a portfolio or a 50%, which one of my personal portfolios a few years ago dropped over 50%. You're like, Mark, you're terrible at this. I don't manage that portfolio. And no, the people that are managing it are not terrible.
Mm.
I pay them a fee to manage that money, and it's one of my most aggressive portfolios we offer to our clients. And guess what? It truly was down over 50%. In the very next year, it went up 147%.
Yeah.
So think about that. Now, down 50, Going back up 50 doesn't put you at even.
Sure.
Let's be very clear about this.
Yeah.
You got 100 grand in there and you drop it down to 50. When 50,000 makes 50%, guess what just happened? You're at 75, but Wall Street will tell you your 2-year return is what? Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
And they're allowed to put that on a prospectus and say, last 2 years, we were zero, down 50, up 50. Well, if you were zero, how come I gave you 100 grand and I only got 75?
Yeah.
And that's how the system works. So when you have a big loss, you're going to need a great big recovery,
Sure.
much bigger than the loss, to get ahead again.
Yeah.
This portfolio does that. It is a very aggressive portfolio geared for very long-term growth at the highest levels, which means I'm going to have very bad years in it.
And it's important to know that walking into
No,
it,
I know it.
so that you don't make that emotional
Correct.
decision. You don't.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of
I
folks,
just leave it alone and let it do what it does.
absolutely, yeah, and that's the strategy you should have. But a lot of folks will look at it, and maybe they look at it twice a year, and then you start to think about, oh, I need to change something, and that's when you start making mistakes where you need a financial advisor to somebody to come next to you and say, hey, don't do that, and here's why.
Yeah, no question about it. And that's where, when I think about the rebalancing, what are we doing this for in the first place? Okay, so we need short-term growth, we need an emergency fund, we need all these different categories.
Yeah.
Okay, the idea, when I see people come in, and this is so funny, but first off, none of them ever have a plan, ever, 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 ever. In my career,
What does that mean to you, having a plan? What does that mean?
a plan is you're 35 years old or
Mhm.
you're 65.
Mhm.
It's been done by a certified financial planner. It clearly states the goals. It clearly has well-defined purposes for every single account you have. And especially needed is what your lifestyle is going to be. So if you're 35 and you want to retire at 55, we need to have a concrete plan of how we're going to accomplish that. It has to be measurable. It can't be, yeah, we're going to make you money. What does that mean?
Sure. And it sounds like every dollar has to have an objective.
It has to have a job.
Yeah.
So think about this. When you think about true, real planning, which nobody does, nobody has, that's what we do at Alloy Wealth, but nobody does this. We need to have our emergency fund, 3 to 6 months cash on hand. What's that return going to be on that? I don't know. Tell me what the Fed does with rates next
It's
week.
going to go down
But
every year
be in
because of
some,
inflation.
it's going to be some high yield savings account.
Yeah.
Currently, the best you're going to find is probably 3.75, 3.5, something like that. Okay. I don't care about that. I need the money liquid. I don't want any fees on it. And I want to know if I need $1, I can go get $1 right now, and I don't have to pass go or collect $200 or pay a penalty.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's that. Okay. Then let's say I know that my children, and thank heavens mine are all out of school, but let's say they're going to be going to school in 5 years. Okay. I need to grow that money over these next 5 years, but I can't have a 20% drop.
Yeah. Has to be safe.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Too late. The timeline's, I'm going to start using it.
Yeah.
So I have to be very conservative. Now, when you use this word safe,
Mhm.
what exactly is safe?
You can't lose anything on it. For me, that's
Okay.
what it means.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
So guess what?
I cannot.
Then that
lose.
just removed you from anything Wall Street has to do with anything.
Totally. Yeah, it's a CD.
You're out.
it's
You're
a-
gone. You're
it's-
gone.
Yep.
You're out.
Sure.
If it's safe. There is no safe. I want to say them safer stocks. Which ones are those?
Oh yeah.
All investments have one thing in common:
Risk.
risk. All savings tools, fixed annuities, fixed index annuities, will have one thing in common: no risk of loss, no risk of principal.
Mhm.
If they don't belong in the savings tool category. Simple as that.
Yep.
So we have to have the purpose of the design behind the money. Then we have to think, when we think about this rebalancing,
Yep.
why are we rebalancing? So if this is my long-term growth bucket,
Mhm.
do I want to rebalance it because I bought things that I shouldn't have bought? That
Yeah.
could be a great reason to rebalance.
Sure. Or you made a bunch and you want to be able to realize those
Take gains. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I believe those companies are changing, new CEO, new
Sure.
direction.
Yep.
You know, I had Budweiser, they went woke, I'm gone, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Okay. But those could be good decisions.
Mhm.
But just rebalancing to rebalance, I don't know if that's a good decision at all.
Mhm.
What's the goal behind it? understanding that these different asset classes are going to do different things at different times.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that's really important when we talk about a plan is that a plan at 35 might be different than a plan at 55. And
It's way
it
different.
probably should be different
Way different.
because
And what you invest in will be way different.
absolutely, because your level of risk has changed.
You're at 35, it should be much higher than 55.
That's right. All the Bitcoin, send it this direction.
Correct.
I'm on it.
Right. I mean, that's just, it should be way different.
Sure.
But again, when I say no one has a plan, they've been convinced, lied to by their advisor, whoever, I don't know, to believe that a statement is your plan.
Yeah.
Tell me your plan. Oh, here's my statement. Got a 401, got a Roth. Yep. What's the goal behind these? I'm going to grow and make a lot of money. Okay, so we're going to have them all very heavily invested. When people come in with these statements, this is the craziest thing, especially because I see more 55s and 65s than 35s, obviously, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't have any money.
Yep.
Typically. But they come in at 65 and they lay down these statements. And I start looking at them and I ask some few simple questions. Well, first off, so I see this Roth here. Tell me what the plan was on this. What are we doing here? Why these investments? Well, I don't know. That's what they chose. What was the goal? Well, Mark, I mean, silly. I want to make money. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. When do you plan on withdrawing money from this? Well, I'm going to retire in a few weeks. Okay. So are you withdrawing from this Roth? Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, here's your IRA. What was the plan behind this? Well, grow the money. Okay. Well, when are you withdrawing from this one? Well, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. And then when I really do a deep dive, guess what they're invested in? Same stuff.
Everywhere.
There was no short-term bucket, mid-term bucket, long-term bucket, leave it to the kids bucket, generational wealth bucket. There was no rhyme or reason to anything.
Sure.
And they all held the same stuff.
Whatever everybody was selling. Right?
Whatever anybody was selling that
Yeah,
week.
that's right. Yeah.
And that's just absolutely. Then we start looking at the cost, and people say, "Oh, I've got my advisor only charges me 1%." You know, this and that. So yeah, that may be true, but once we do this deep dive, we find out that. Did you know you were paying 12B1 fees? Did you know your advisor was receiving 1.75 a year commission or his share of that? Did you know your internal expense ratio in this portfolio was over 1.5%? What are you talking? And then we show them the internal expense ratios, and they're like, "Holy smokes, I had no idea."
Yeah.
There's just, and again, a plan exposes all this stuff.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I want to do, and we probably don't have time in this episode because I want to jump to Q&A
Yeah.
before we end.
Well, we need to because we're going to run out of time.
Exactly. But we do need to talk about what questions you should be asking your advisor to make sure that your rebalancing is getting done, that you're not invested in the same stuff everywhere.
So here's the thing. When I think about questions to ask your advisor,
yeah,
it's a completely different list of questions for a 35-year-old, a 25-year-old,
totally,
and a 65.
Sure.
So let's go young first.
Mhm.
Why do I choose you?
Oh, okay, got it. Why are they choosing that advisor?
Why?
Yeah.
Let's ask. Why? I would literally look at you and I would say, why do I choose you?
Mhm. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah.
And again, they have to be able to answer that.
Yeah, sure. Good call.
When you go in to the grocery store and you're buying a ribeye steak and you bring it to the cashier, I don't think it's appropriate to ask the cashier, "Hey, what was your cost on this? What are y'all making on this damn steak?"
Mm.
I say steak because I'm a carnivore and I eat a lot of them. But hey, it's $28. What are y'all picking up on this?
That is a very aggressive question on what is your profit on this thing.
Right.
And
What
yeah.
are you making?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And it would be inappropriate. Agreed? And I can be inappropriate sometimes.
That's cool. Yeah.
But I wouldn't ask that question. But if I sat down with you,
Yeah.
and you get past the first series of questions, what your license is, what you do, what your philosophy is, we get through that, then I'm gonna say, okay, I want to know with 100% certainty exactly what you will be charging me.
Mm.
I want to see it in writing, and I want to know all the fees.
Sure.
Don't tell me you're charging me 1% to manage my portfolio, and then you've got commissions in there. Because not only am I going to leave you, you might get an ass whooping on the way out the door. I mean, because I don't want to be lied to. And maybe you shouldn't say it quite like that. But I think it should be so transparent.
Sure.
And if an advisor or a firm can't look at you and put it in writing and tell you what it's going to cost,
Yeah.
I'm out. Not even it's a no-go right out of the gate. Now, there's other things. Are we going to be meeting in person or on Zoom?
Sure.
I'm old. Now, I don't feel old, and I
You
certainly
l
don't
you
look
look
it.
great,
So I
man.
certainly don't look it, but the reality is I'm old. I'm gonna wanna come see you in person.
Sure,
I wanna look at your office. I wanna look at the technology you use. I wanna talk to the people that are in the office. I wanna see them. I wanna see if I like them,
sure.
and I wanna know that when I come down there and I'm mad, I can put my hands around your neck. Okay, you say, "Mark, that's so great." That's just who I am.
Sure.
Many people would be much more comfortable doing the meetings from their home.
Yeah, and that's convenient for
Will
them
you
and
do them after hours?
sure, yeah,
Will you do my meeting at 7 o'clock after I come home from work, or do I have to take off and do it at work hours?
sure, yeah,
These are all questions you should be asking. What is their personal philosophy on money?
yeah. Are
I
they
want to
more
know.
yeah, they're riskier, they more
Right.
conservative,
Listen,
yeah,
I can tell you right now, there are, when we switch this to asking questions for an older client, we want to go into some listener questions, but think
yeah,
about this. I think I'm highly qualified. You say, well, Mark, of course you're highly qualified. You're the CEO of a major corporation, all that stuff. Yeah, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I think I'm highly qualified as an investment advisor because I personally know exactly how it feels to have money and a lot of it and lose every friggin' dollar and have to rebuild my life with 3 kids, couple of dogs, and start over.
and a Honda Element.
Yeah. And guess what? I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah,
There are people that say, I won't work with him because he lost all his money once in life in business. Okay. Then I'm not your guy.
mm. Well,
But I can tell you this, when you actually have had money and knows what it's like to lose it, you don't want to do it again. And I can certainly talk to people and look them in the eye and say, listen, I know, and I'm not going through that again. It made me so much better at what I do.
yeah, the ability to be able to take risk, you exemplified that, failed, and
Yep.
guess what? Learned a lot from it, and
And
now you're better for it.
no question about it.
Yeah,
Some people would much rather they've saved a couple $1,000,000. They'd much rather go to somebody that's never had any money, but is perfectly capable of telling them what to do with their money.
sure,
If that's who you are, go to them.
sure.
And so when I'm saying this, it's because when you're talking about joining a company, there's more to it than just the diploma.
Yeah. And honestly, this can be a fun process, just like buying a car. You're kind of
It can be.
interviewing them. You're interviewing them as much as you,
Correct.
vice versa. And so it should be something where, like, if you're meeting with your financial advisor, it probably should be somebody you enjoy spending time with.
Better be.
If you don't like hanging out with them,
They
you
better be
don't like
passionate about what they're doing.
exactly.
And I hate the analogy of the car thing, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But be very clear. What should an advisor do for their clients? Give them advice.
Yeah.
They should be selling them nothing. There should never feel salesy.
hmm
It should not like a car, not an emotional purchase. I want this beautiful new car, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Advice. Hey, I believe it's in your best interest because I'm licensed as a fiduciary, which means I have to do what's in your best interest. I believe it's in your best interest to do a Roth conversion this year. In fact, we've looked at your taxes and you could convert $100,000 out of your 401 IRA and move it to a Roth and you would only pay 20% tax on it. And I think that's a good deal. I'm not selling you anything. In fact, in that example, I'm probably going to lose money because now I'm going to be managing less money when you do it because we have to pay the tax.
Sure.
But regardless, I'm giving you advice. It's your money. You get to choose what you're going to do with that advice.
Yeah. And
I don't tell you if I was building a stock portfolio. Again, we don't do that. But if we were building a stock portfolio based on what you've told me, based on your risk tolerances, here's what I'm recommending and here's why. What do you get to do? Make a decision.
That's right. Yep.
But if it feels like, oh, I got it, here, just sign, press hard, you're making 3 copies. That is not what I'm doing. That's not who I'm working with. I don't need to be an advisor. I don't need my clients to be so smart they're advisors, but I do need the husband and the wife to understand the decision, what this bucket of money is supposed to do. This is a high risk, high volatility bucket. We're not putting a lot in it, or we are putting a lot in it based on your circumstances, but based on what you want to do, this has a 15-year outline. And over those 15 years, we'll gradually be bringing it back in line because in 15 years, you intend to use it. First 10, we're probably going to be aggressive as heck. First 9, first 8. Then we're going to slow that down until we get it into a much more conservative portfolio because you're going to be using it in the next 3 years.
Absolutely. And actually, one of the viewer questions on here, and I wanted to go
Let's
to it,
go.
and
Give
you
it to us.
actually just answered it in a lot of ways, but how do I know if my portfolio is too risky?
Yeah.
And I think that's not an easy question to answer for all people at all times, right?
It's a very easy question for the right firm to answer.
Sure.
Because how it should be done, remember that disclosure we always have to say, past performance
Yep.
doesn't equal future.
Sure.
Totally get it. But it's the best, simply the best way to describe what that portfolio could do. So in this example, that person brings the portfolio to us. We back debt test it.
Sure.
What we do is take exactly what you own and we go back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And we say, had you owned this 15 years ago, here's exactly how it would have performed. Notice during the financial crisis of '08, it would have dropped 42%. Are you comfortable with it dropping 42%? That is a yes, no question. I'm not telling you what to say to that. It's not my money. I know what I would say to it. You have to tell us what you would say to it. If you say no, it doesn't mean you have a bad portfolio. In fact, it might be a great portfolio for Mark Henry. It's a bad portfolio for CJ because you just said you would not be able to withstand a 42% drawdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's where real planning comes in. When you know what the standard deviation, that's a measure of risk is, and you know the return because you get to say, CJ, yes, it would have lost 42%. However, over the next 12 years, it would have averaged a 17.2% return. Ooh. So you mean it would have gone from here to here? Yep, even including all those drawdowns.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. Based on where I'm at in life, I think I could withstand that.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Might be a good portfolio for you. It may not be. It doesn't matter. The answer, it's not good or bad. It's whether it's good or bad for who.
You.
C.J.
Yeah,
Collins
that's
in
right.
this example, Mark Henry in this example.
Yep.
Great question.
Well, it is a good question, and I think part of this is also one of the things that I love talking about, and it's a resource that you only get once, which is time. And
correct.
you have to take advantage of the time resource on this. And if you don't, and you wait too late, and you show up at 62, 63, 64, and you say, hey, I want to retire next year and do something very risky, that's a bad scenario.
See it all the time. People think they haven't saved enough for retirement, so now it's time to turn the risk up.
That's right.
That's exactly
The
the
opposite.
wrong
That's
of what we
opposite.
should
Yeah.
be doing.
Yeah, we need to go the opposite.
You got
way
any
on
other
that one.
questions we could answer
I
in a
do.
minute?
This is a good one. I like it because I think it is an emotional decision, as we've been talking about here
Yeah.
today, and it's probably the last one we'll have the opportunity to do. But should I pay off debt instead of investing during volatility?
Okay. Forget the volatility one.
Sure. Yeah.
Forget it. Take
Yeah.
that off the table. I've got a credit card that I have a balance on. I have a student loan, and I'm paying 22% interest.
Whew, ouch.
But I need to go invest.
That hurts.
That's ridiculous. Now, if your company is giving you a match on your 401, you absolutely, and it breaks my heart to say this, but you absolutely need to at least get the match.
Sure.
If they're matching 5% of what you put in, you have got to pick up the 5% because that's free money.
Sure.
So you're going to have to go ahead and do it. But otherwise, every single thing after your emergency fund is funded goes to paying off debt. What kind of debt? Car? I don't know. I'm not so crazy about that, paying it off or not.
mean,
You
it's
got to have
depreciating
you have to
asset.
it's a depreciation asset. You want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm a Dave Ramsey follower. I'm part of his program or SmartVestor and
What does
all
he
that.
say?
He says you should not even have a car loan. Period. In discussion. I want
cash.
good, reliable transportation,
Yeah.
and I don't have a problem with it if it
Mhm.
fits in your spending plan.
Sure.
I have a huge problem with credit card debt. It's outrageous. It is crazy. It's got to go. So house. You got a house loan? I've got one right now that's at 5%. Yeah, I'm not paying it off. I could. I'm not paying it off
Yeah.
because I can't get a 5% loan. Maybe I will soon. It's coming. But until that rate drops a little bit more or something, I'm not paying it off.
Yeah. I think, and that's a very emotional one too,
It is.
where a lot of folks are like, hey, do I take 50 and put it towards my house, or do I put that in an account that's going to grow?
Correct.
And I think that can be an emotional decision. Like some people can make that and say, hey, I'm going to put
Yeah,
it
and
towards
there's
my
no
house.
right or wrong answer there.
Exactly.
It's different for different people.
It is.
So again, I would give advice based on here's the kind of the options. Here's the good about this. Yeah, here's the negative. Here's the good about this. Here's the negative. What do you want to do with your money?
Mm,
And I keep saying it that way because if you're looking for an advisor, first off, are they a salesman or an advisor? Number one. Number two, do they act like your money is theirs, or do they treat you with the respect you deserve, regardless of how much it is, that it's your money? I'm giving you advice. You decide what you're doing.
yeah. Very
Hey, listen, we got to wrap this thing up,
We do.
CJ, but I've loved it. We're going to be back next Wednesday at 10. This is so important for us, but I need you to do a couple things. Housekeeping.
Hell yeah.
If you watched it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or the whole thing,
Well, they made it to the end at this point, so
right, or they tuned it in, right.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got caught on the channel.
Yeah.
But you got to hit the like and subscribe button.
Oh, totally.
If you absolutely detest it and you think it's the biggest waste of your time, absolutely tell me in the comments and hit the like and subscribe button anyway, because I'll appreciate it. And I'll listen to your comments and try to get better
Yeah.
because I want to be better.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, I am very passionate about this channel so that you have a place to send a question in and get it answered. I want to be able to help you have a confident financial future. We live in the greatest country in the world, period, in discussion. And if you want to be financially free, you have the ability to do it. I want to help you get there. CJ,
That was a great close. Let's leave it at that, Mark.
There you
Thanks
go.
so much. Appreciate you guys
mic
watching.
drop.
We'll see you guys next week.